what days do we want it, what times do we want
Right.
it, what kind of signs it's gonna be, and they had to approve that. Those signs that we bought for the roadway are officially NDOT approved type signs
Okay.
and stuff like that, so.
Is that also when we would, I noticed that many communities now have a permanent thing that's like slow down and it flashes the speed limit, like Bel Air has one, Ellsworth has a couple.
So if you put those on state road, yes, you could add that in your permit. If you wanted them on side roads, then we don't have to have permits. for
Okay,
those.
so we would have to add that because M88 is the big one, so.
Correct. But, then there's the cost of buying those and deciding where you want them. And some of them are pretty portable, some of them are pretty fixed on the post.
Right.
About what do they cost, Scott? Throw a number.
The trailers, you see. the
They're
street trailers,
$500.
about $7,000. Those signs are probably more like,
500. I filled out a grant for AAA. We didn't get it,
Okay,
but they were 500 a piece for the mounted one, like Ellsworth has.
yeah, those are just the speed limit signs. Some of them actually record data.
That would be like equipment, wouldn't it?
No, it would be different than equipment, but yeah,
Sure.
yeah. It doesn't have wheels.
The trailer would
The
be-
trailer you could, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No,
Something to
but-
think about.
We can
But
look
your
at the
local
hardwired
road's pretty
ones
flush.
That say slow down, speed limit. Yeah, Bel Air's got a nice one coming into town. That
Yeah.
would be something that we should consider in the future.
In the near future.
Scott, police report.
Thank you. Hopefully everybody had a chance to look at the report. I had the highlights at the bottom. Halloween went really well. I think the weather helps with that. Sometimes it's cold and just keeps people on that task, and we don't have a lot of people hanging out afterwards or causing problems. Let's see, the other thing is, I gave Rob a copy. Did you see that, Rob? A copy of that?
Indemnification.
Yes.
Yes.
I pronounced it wrong, too. So we talked about it as far as the county working on our vehicles. They reached back out and talked to me as far as they printed off a draft copy. Everything looks like just boilerplate language that obviously I assume if something happens or whatever. Their meeting is the 18th, which is next week. And I would imagine, I don't see any problems with them agreeing to it, so then I'll bring it back, and then I think it gets Rob's signature, and it just gives us another opportunity to have our vehicles serviced, pretty local. So same thing we did in the past, so. And I'll report back to you whether that gets officially signed and submitted and stuff like that, so. I think that's about it.
All right, thank you. DPW report, Sam. Sam is not here. He's got things he did there. So I guess we'll move on. Correspondence, I got correspondence from the chamber. Window night is December 1st. Michelle, what time does that start?
I think it goes from like 5 to 8 or 5 to 9.
Okay.
The chamber has a theme of Whoville and hoping that lots of businesses and residences will decorate and participate. They've got all sorts of activities planned. I think there's going to be reindeer next to Patton Insurance there in that little park. And a Grinch walking around. So Chamber's on it and they're excited. That's all I know.
All right, thank you. Another correspondence, all of you have before you the email from Mr. Skylar Hawkins regarding the brown water, I guess to have it put into public record, I'll read it out loud. My name is Skylar Hawkins, owner of 2046 West Street. Once every 3 to 4 weeks, my water becomes completely undrinkable. I really noticed it started happening at the beginning of the summer, it's continued all summer long. So I'm not sure if it's every 3 or 4 weeks or all summer long during the summer. I am either completely ignored or given BS reason about the fire department had to clean the pipes maybe, or the fire department had to fill their trucks up. It's always blamed on the fire department, which is just ridiculous. Fire department should be able to turn on their water for whatever they need, and it should not ruin the drinking water in town. I'm not sure what needs to be done about this. I pay my water bill. It's ridiculous that I cannot use the water. I've had to empty my ice machine because it's all contaminated multiple times. Sometimes I can let the water run for just a couple minutes and the color goes away. Other times it has to be ran for hours on end. This is ridiculous. I'm not stand for it. I expect a phone call or some sort of acknowledgement. I'm not going to release his phone number. Ralph, I'm turning over to you. Talk to Jay Hodges from the engineering firm and what you have to say.
I actually called Jay Hodges and I called Mr. Hawkins. Actually, it probably is from the fire trucks using the things, using the hydrants. She felt that we could reduce the amount by flushing more often. The standard's 2 times a year, and she said if you go to 3 or 4, it will keep the pipes cleaner. That being said, every time we do that, it's one guy all day. So how many times, it isn't something we can afford to do once a week, but I think we should go to 4 times a year and flush the pipes.
Wait a minute, one guy all day just to flush that particular pipe? Or
No,
all
that's to do
pipes?
the whole town. You have to do
Oh.
it, according to Sam, you have to start at the tower and you work your way in so that you're not contaminating the rest of it as you go.
Oh.
Otherwise, if you just did this end, all the dirt's gonna come from everywhere to go out this end. Is the way
Okay,
I'm probably not saying that perfectly, but that's pretty much what it
well,
was.
that makes sense. And is this the only complaint we've had from?
No,
anybody?
we've had lots of complaints here over our water in the past. And I just think that, he had pictures of it, ice maker pictures, everything you guys can see in the email. That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
If we can curb it by flushing twice more a year, that's what I would, that's the only solution that's viable. Because we're not gonna switch all the water mains to plastic. We're not doing that. I mean, it's a good cost preventative. So the only thing that we can do is flush lines more often.
And we got an extra guy this year.
Man,
That's
Yeah.
probably one of the things we should do. And then we can roll that out
Yeah.
and say we gotta move on to other things.
Now, what about flushing in the wintertime, freezing weather though?
I don't think you can do it in the winter. You don't.
Well, so I would say
Well,
that
that's what I was
you
wondering.
do it in December, then you do it in March,
Yeah, you could.
So what-
or November, right? You just did it in November. They just did it.
Weather
okay?
permitting, yeah.
They just did it. So we go until spring thaw, and as soon as spring thaw, we make sure we tell Sam, hey, look, let's flush them again.
Keep track of the weather in the fall and say, as late as you can go,
Yeah,
flush it.
just like the same time you're winterizing the bathrooms
Yeah.
and open them back up. Well, he opens them later to be safe, but if we have a warm, there isn't a lot going on with the warm spring day, especially now with an extra guy that we couldn't get them
Experiment
flushed
with
in March.
And what is it in the water that's making it like
Show me
Iron
inside
in the pipes.
iron in the pipe?
Turn the pipe.
So, okay, yep,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
pretty gross. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah,
there's,
yeah. So that's
just
iron and
Old
so,
it
water,
won't hurt you.
old water lines.
Yeah, it won't hurt you. It's just that they collect, like Sam explained it to me. And they collect in all the low spots. And when you look down his place, right before his place is low spots and the sediment settles there, they flush so much water through and then they're done before it's flushed the whole line from the start. So they flush all that iron gets right to like his house. He turns the water on and it goes right to the pipe.
because he's right at the end.
Well,
he at the end?
no, it isn't an end anymore, and we're trying to get rid of the ends. Sam's explained they're trying to get rid of dead ends because that is a problem.
Okay.
So, but it is still, it's iron pipe. We're gonna have iron pipe for many, many years yet.
Now, but ultimately, this is gonna get, eventually gonna get replaced, right?
It can happen with plastic pipes too.
Well, I know, but so this is gonna be an ongoing issue forever?
Yes.
Okay, so, and the homeowner,
I called him, he was justifiably upset. Who would think that the fire department would cause that problem? It is that, and I explained to him why, so he understood that. I talked to him, I called him twice minimum, maybe 3 times and talked to him about it, 3 times, because I told him we were flushing, we were gonna do everything. And he was good with it then, he kind of understood why we were having a problem. I used Jennifer's words and explained things to him pretty well. Didn't write down, I'm paraphrasing everything she said, I didn't write it down, but he was pretty content with the fact that we were gonna flush right away and we were gonna do it more often.
okay, should we give him any kind of credit on his water bill?
No,
No?
because that's not unhealthy, it's just ugly.
And every community does this
Everybody has
because
trouble.
I was looking for another thing today and I saw on their page, they said, oh, flushing water, it's going to be discolored, So every community I mean, it's
This is how.
it's not
isolated it
localized
is.
here, yeah.
Across the street is Elmer Barber's house and Jeff Lundin's house. They never have rusty water.
Hmm.
Isn't that crazy? I
A
just,
little
A little higher.
I'm just saying, it just
Yeah.
shows you
Yeah.
2 feet of
Yeah.
elevation
And
difference.
then if you're using the water at the wrong time of day. You know, I mean, it could have been, if they would open their water before he did, it might have went all past him before he turned his water on.
Yeah,
You know, it's all just bad luck, but
Okay.
it's gonna happen, gonna continue to happen. The best solution, according to people much wiser than me, is to flush it more often.
Well, I
Right,
think
then.
that's
We can
something
make
we
it
should
so.
try and we can easily do.
I'll tell Sam, we're gonna.
Would you say 4 times a
4
year?
times a year, thanks. Committee reports, streets, sidewalks and lights. Mike,
The only thing I got to say is that the gardening for the year is done. Nothing more
Darn,
until
huh?
April or May or whatever.
you're still up for it next year then?
Yeah, right now we are going to be.
Okay,
We're assuming that Catherine's cancer treatments will
okay,
resolve her problems.
well, that's good,
So we'll see.
thank you.
We'll let you know in appropriate time if we don't think we can do it.
All right.
Everything looked great this year, Mike.
Yeah, we got a lot of compliments,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Mhm.
Back to Ralph with water and sewer.
Of course, that was the big spiel. We also have a leak right now that, we think is best to let leak until Sam gets back.
Where's Sam?
Las Vegas.
Spending his raise.
Thank you, Ralph. Law enforcement Bill is not here. Do you have anything to add, Scott?
No.
Okay. Communications, Kip.
I was gonna say that we've had some good feedback on Zoom, but obviously it didn't work tonight. So, I think people would like to watch and, if they may not be able to make it to the meeting in person, but at least they can watch the meeting
Mhm.
on YouTube or something. Maybe we could, I think we did the trial till December.
Mhm.
Look at something different.
Yeah, our Zoom subscription is going to be up in January anyways
Okay.
to be able to do that.
Do you
Because
can you shoot me the link to the meetings, Mike? Because my person here doesn't have the link to
oh,
watch it.
I don't have well, it'd be hard to give you a link,
Okay,
but if they search in YouTube Village of Central Lake, they should be able to find the live stream that way. Because the link is a bunch of letters and numbers and
Thank you, Kip. Finance and personnel, Brian.
Halloween went well. Sam and I made an executive decision to move everything down to the new pavilion. And we figured that we probably had about 180 people show up. People was very impressed with the pavilion. They were glad that we had the bathrooms there.
yay.
Picnic tables for kids to sit down, so that'll be a annual event at the
Good.
pavilion. I don't know if anybody saw the interim review today, but there's an article about Bel Air is raising their campground rates. Some of the rates they're doubling, and the reason they're doing that is because they've had an issue with a less than desirable clientele. So they doubled their rates just to possibly keep some people out. The main reason I brought this paper is they said they had a lot of trouble with Craven Park this year too, with campers. So it wasn't just.
It's everywhere.
It wasn't just us. It's just the way people are now, and we just gotta do the best we can.
We do, in December's agenda, we are going to discuss campground rates for 2023.
Okay.
But not, because we're locked in already.
Yep.
For
That's
next
all I
summer.
have, thanks.
All right.
Cool.
Parks and public property, Michelle.
I think I don't have anything unless anybody knows otherwise.
President's report. The only thing we're just gonna go over to, just what, discussion on the police millage, that's on 14A, so. that's where, so I'm not gonna go over that twice. 11, approval of the bills. Prepaid, $87,521.06. Payroll, $21,865.82, for a total of $109,386.88.
I make a motion to pay the bill.
Second.
Discussion on the check register on page 1 of 7. Two pages way down, it says dog waste station. What's that?
It's those, poles for the doggy do bags.
Oh, I see. Well, I didn't know that's what they were saying.
Yeah, good.
And, let's see, on page 3.
Yep.
Matthew Gabris
Gabris.
Gabris.
says, met with Sam and Rob for water quality. I think mean water quality, just a typo.
Yep.
And let's see. On page 5 of 7, Internal Revenue Service, weekly versus monthly penalty. What's that mean?
So when I got hired on, Kayla told me that we were a monthly filer, but the IRS claims that we're a weekly filer, so they said that we didn't get our money in time. It's taken care of now, but they're still back in early 2020 is when they're doing their reports from. So we'll probably have 2 more until they get caught up to where we're at.
Oh,
So it was from, Q1 of 2020. So we're in Q4 of 2021 now, so but I'm filing now every time we do a payroll. So they're getting paid on time now. It's just, they're so far back in their backlog that they're just sending us out the bills now.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, let's have the vote on it first, I'm sorry. Can I get
You got the motion. Yeah, so you want roll call?
roll call, please?
Drake.
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
Heinz.
Yeah.
Patton.
Yes.
Ring.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Before we move on though, there's one, from the first page of that, the 3 columns, treasurer's report. The middle column, 590 sewer. You see $14,437.06.
In the hole.
Exactly. We are not in the hole there. What happened is we've been paying Gordy Frazier for engineering fees before our grant has come through. As soon as the grant comes through, we'll be reimbursed for all the money we have paid out. So we're not $14,000 in the hole. So just, all right. Additionally, right above that, the 508 campground, 147,000. Just kind of circle that number because we're going to go back around to that one on agenda item. Well, we're going to come back to that. 13F, and then also on the very bottom there, equipment 661, the middle column, $121,902.99. Circle that one. We're going to come back around to that number for 13G. We just keep that kind of handy. Turning the page. Action item 13A, approved zoning administrator certificate program training. Before you've got the document from Michigan State University. Andrew, if you'd like us further, please.
It's a program offered by Michigan State, and here it tells you like what it covers: ethics, legal issues, reviewing applications, procedures and forms, inspections, enforcing violations, and such. So I just thought, with me becoming a new zoning administrator, it might be good to know what I'm supposed to do. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I'll make a motion to approve Andrew to go to the zoning administrator conference.
Support.
Yeah, I think it's 2 days in person, then the rest is hybrid, so cuts down on costs on that way.
You'll be staying overnight.
One night, yeah.
Okay.
All in favor?
Excuse me. Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
I have just.
Yeah.
The dates are January 19th and February 8th to 9th.
It's,
Overnight.
so the 8th to 9th is the only in-person, the 19th is hybrid,
Oh, that's
online,
already.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's, because typically I think that was all, like they made it like 3 or 4 days long, but now it's only a day and a half in person.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all my comments.
So
Okay, vote.
roll call, please, since you're spending
Drake.
money.
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Hines,
Yep.
Penn,
Yes.
Ring,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Video surveillance system, as you know, last month Sam informed you that we had some vandalism. They kicked in the doors at the old State Road well house. They could have done a lot more damage. I feel horrible if they did, and we didn't spend $2,000 at least to try to deter it. So that's why we're doing it.
just at the well house then?
Just at the old State Road well house. The Bunker Hill well house, we've got a 6-foot-high fence with razor wire on the top. We've never had any problem with vandalism there. The old State Road, it's a remote spot. And there's already, kids seem to like to tag that well tower too with spray paint.
Well, it's out of the way.
Yeah.
So, are we still having, I mean, since that last problem, have we had any more?
No,
problems?
but I just want to get cameras up there now, just
Okay.
maybe it'll slow them down. I don't know. I'd like to get additional lighting there too. But
So if we do this, would this company be adding additional cameras? Like, because I'm assuming we're gonna do more security around town, right?
eventually, yeah, both the new pavilion and the new offices.
Maybe-
Andrew met with them. You want to kind of fill us in a little bit more?
Yeah, so this is just for up at the well house. You'll notice the monthly service of $30 a month. So he took that out of the price if we agreed to keep the monthly service for 1 year. So we took out the whole monthly service and then we cancel after 1 year their maintenance service. And that's just to make sure everything's installed and running well, so we can call them up if we have any problems within that first year and they come out to help us with that. And yeah, he said if we just whatever we want to quote on, he'll come back out and give us a quote if we want it somewhere else. So yeah, he's a friendly guy.
These all wireless?
They're not wireless, they're wired.
Oh, they're wired.
Yeah, so
Where? Wired to where?
to DVR inside that building.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask,
So-
where's the-
So what we would do is it would be it would overwrite. So if deer are walking through or whatnot, it would it has 2 terabytes or whatever hard drive. I think that's what he said. What does it say? Yeah, 2 terabyte MBR. That's the DVR. So 2 terabytes is quite a lot of storage. And so, you can have a couple months on there, but after 2 months, then it will start rewriting over the oldest stuff. So that way, then if there is a problem, you just go up there and grab your hard drive and then look to see who was up there or whatnot.
Okay, we would not be able to access the cameras remotely then?
If we wanted to put in Wi-Fi up there, we could.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but we don't have Wi-Fi or anything, but
All right.
yeah, if we had internet up there, we could. Yeah, that's what, yeah, so,
Should we price shop, or are these known for being the lowest?
it's, I mean, they're a reputable company, but beyond that, I don't know much
What's
more.
The guy that lives out by Conant's, is that EDT or something?
Oh, ADT?
And then what about, who's the McDonough?
Todd McDonough, he works for Habitat.
Is it something we should, I'm asking questions because I'm ignorant.
Yeah.
$2,000 to install it and $30 a month. If we got $30 a month in it for $1,000, I'd like it a lot better. but-
Where is this based? Where is he?
He's from either Traverse or Petoskey. I can't remember which one.
Do you think we could check with the
I can
ones
check
with the
with-
more local connection?
I can check with McDonough,
Would
if you guys want.
I mean.
We're still a rush, we don't have to do it tomorrow.
Right.
correct?
No,
No. Yeah,
I
when-
can check with Todd and see what he.
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
With the
Could we
understanding that we would keep adding.
We're gonna need new cameras at the Thurston Park Pavilion. I put those in
Yeah,
8 years ago.
We're gonna need cameras at the new office. You're
Yeah,
gonna need
new
cameras
At the pavilion. You're gonna need them at the, I'd like to get a whole new system at the Thurston Park. 'Cause,
I,
mean,
man,
yeah,
McDonough's got a really good reputation from what I've heard
Yeah.
about what he's been doing, so.
Well, he
I'd
worked
like
for
to table this.
He worked for ADT for years, now he works for Habitat, which is based out of Charlevoix. But I'll call him.
yeah.
Would you? I'd like to table this then if we could.
Sure.
Yeah, I can do that.
So you're gonna call him.
Yes, sir.
All right, table that.
I'll do that.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
You bet.
Approve DPW furnace replacement. We just got, the furnace is out. There's no heat in the DPW garage. For $3,200.
We just replaced that furnace, not,
Two separate furnaces.
I was gonna say, it's a separate furnace.
One runs the garage where the trucks are, this one runs the middle bay and the other two bays.
Because Randy Weiss put one in 3 or 4 years ago. Okay. That's what I was gonna ask,
It runs the stall.
Yeah, I think Sam said this one had a tag from the 60s on it.
probably.
Yeah, he ripped it
The
out.
other
Yeah,
one was the 50s.
yeah, so, yeah,
Well, we got our money's worth out of it.
That's right.
yeah.
So the price is 3,200?
Yep, we.
With
just-
labor and installed and
Up front.
from Randy.
Okay,
Well, he's local, he's a village
Yeah.
taxpayer.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the DPW furnace replacement.
I'll second.
Roll call, please, just.
All right. Drake.
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
Hines.
Yes.
Patton.
Yes.
Ring.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yep.
All right. Motion carries.
Before you is the 2022 council meeting dates. Look those over.
Need a motion to approve these?
Yes, please.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Will that switch though, once our,
Yeah.
offices are finished?
13E, approve extended hours for Torch Cannabis Company for window night. The normal hours are from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Kelly had requested to be able to stay out and open 2 hours later until 9 p.m.
Because those are the hours of window night.
You think they coincide with window night hours?
I'll move to allow that.
I'll second that. Let's do a roll call on this. Andrew?
Okay. Drake.
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
Hines.
No.
Patton.
Yes.
Ring.
No.
Tyler.
Yes.
Motion carries.
13F, approved campground wiring quote from ARN. There was discussion and Ralph said, why don't we look into a 500 amp service instead of 30 and kicking the can down the road? So we indeed did get a quote. And now, if you go back to the treasurer's report on the other page, and you can see our fund balance in the campground is $147,862.30. If we take 23,500 out, we'll have a fund balance of $124,362. And this is even before our 2023 to window opens for the campground. So
I'd like to make a motion to do the real deal, the 50 amp.
right,
That's pretty cheap. 20, would you say 23,000?
Yeah.
23.5. And we'll still be way, our fund balance in the campground,
Will be 100.
will still be 124,000.
I second that.
Spending money, Andrew?
All right. Drake.
Yes.
Fox.
Yes.
Hines,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Ring,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
All right, and that was for the 23,000.
13G, approved pickup for the new DPW worker. Every 3 years, traditionally, we buy a new pickup truck before we have to buy tires and start wrenching on them. So this is no different. Before you is the quote. There's been some discussion as to buying multiple trucks. So Ralph did some research. I'll turn it over to Ralph.
We have the opportunity to buy four-wheel drive, extended cab, 3/4 ton pickups for the one Sam wants is less than $32,000. Right now, Sam's truck that he's driving, right now, the cheapest one with 100 and some thousand miles on Auto Trader was $36,000. I think we should buy two pickups, one for the new guy pickup and one for Sam, and sell Sam's truck and replenish the equipment fund to that point. And in the future, I think we should really, the rule is you have to buy the pickup to use it. You can't buy a new pickup and just turn it over just to make a profit. If we use it, I mean, I feel guilty at 1 year, but at 1 year, we can make $20,000 off of every pickup we buy. At 2 years, we can make $20,000 off of $15,000 to $20,000 off of every pickup we buy. It's dumb not to take advantage of the situation. I mean, we can turn Sam's truck over, actually put more money in our equipment fund than we started with after buying the pickup. And if we turn these pickups over quicker, instead of waiting until the pickup's rusty and we get $15,000 for it, if we turn it over quicker, we can actually make a profit because of the deal we get through Michigan deal. So I would propose to buy two pickups now, sell Sam's truck after they come in, because who knows when they'll come. But when they come in, sell Sam's truck. This one will cost us 32. I think we'll probably get close to 40 for Sam's truck. It's just a money-making adventure.
Well, when we sold his truck a few years ago, we only got 14.5 for it.
It wasn't 2 years old. It wasn't 3 years old because Sam passed, and I wasn't on the board then. Sam passed, and we ended up selling that truck for like $15,000 or $20,000 or whatever. But
14.5.
yeah, we don't want to wait. We don't want to sell a $14,000 truck. We want to sell a truck that's 2 years old that's worth more than we paid for it. That's the whole key. Sam thinks he's doing the village a favor. I don't need a new truck yet. I don't need a new truck yet.
We can't trade these trucks in, can we? To the dealer, to this
Probably could.
signature Ford, can we trade them in?
I haven't looked into that.
I think we gotta sell them out.
Why would you trade it in?
For more than what you're paying for a new one.
Right now, you probably would. Honestly,
Really?
really, you probably would.
Well,
Right now, Barb's car is a lease and we have the option to buy. They're already offering her $6,000 more for that car than the residual.
That's true.
I mean,
It's hard to find one.
it's hard to find one.
Yeah.
So right now, we have and even if it wasn't hard to find one, we're buying one for $30,000 that everybody else is paying $55,000 for. So if there are rules that we can't just turn the truck over, buy it and turn it over, but if we use it for a year or 2 years, our equipment fund, we can actually buy stuff for Scott. We could buy something, we can get in better situations by turning these vehicles over quicker. And here's some information on the pricing. You'll have to take my word for it on Auto Trader, but the cheapest 2019 on Auto Trader was $36,000.
Sam's truck is 2 years old.
The 19, 3 years old. We need to off the truck. Right now we can do it at a profit. We need to.
And how many miles are on it?
He couldn't tell me. He was in Vegas and he was kind of
Oh,
pissed.
okay.
I forgot he was in Vegas, so I texted him, how many miles are on your truck? And
Less than 50.
Yeah, I'd say around 30,000.
I mean,
Oh.
it's a money-making adventure. It's just, we shouldn't be going more than 2 years.
How many pickup trucks do we have?
We're gonna have 3. We have 2 right now.
2 right now.
I haven't,
Okay.
Sam would have to spec. That's the other problem is I don't know what he specs for a utility truck. And I don't want to get Sam pissed at me, but I think as soon as we're done buying these other 2 trucks, we can't deplete our equipment fund and not have money for a lawnmower or anything. But once we sell Sam's other truck, we could buy another utility truck. I haven't done the research like I have for pickup trucks, because I'm looking for a pickup truck myself. But not that that's why I'm suggesting this, but I probably would have been on the pickup truck. But, it's just a no-brainer.
Well, the only issue that we have is we had to order that other truck by the 1st of November.
12th. That was a mistake. We just. looked
Yeah,
at
if
it
you,
2 minutes ago.
yeah, I pulled on this one right here. This new, that was the Macomb County deal.
Well, this is from a different-
This is my deal, the state purchasing program,
State purchasing order.
which is actually a little cheaper if you look, because the X2B is the model that we're getting. And that's 28,059 from the Macomb, and my deal is 27,421. So it's actually like $630 cheaper, but negligible, but a little cheaper.
Which one?
My deal. So my deal is this one with the green on there,
Okay,
and then the Macomb is the one from Signature Ford.
but which spec number?
X2B. It's about
Just
halfway down-ish.
Just past halfway down.
It's 0077-4WDL.
But it says light duty truck, and does that still mean it can push snow?
F-250 is considered a light duty truck compared to other trucks that you
Okay.
plow with.
All right.
And if we bought 2 trucks right now, then in a couple of years or something, we want to turn those
We
over.
sell,
Be selling 2 trucks and buying 2 new ones in the
Yeah.
same year.
and making $25,000, $30,000.
But in 2 years, the market might be,
Well, if the market changes in 2 years, we're still not behind, because we're off in Sam's truck at more than we're buying Sam's truck for. See what I'm saying? Because we're gonna get, when we sell, we're gonna buy a truck anyway for John, okay? So we're buying one truck no matter what, or that's what Rob would like.
Part of his wages or?
Is that part of his wages? Driving,
That wouldn't
Driving
be
a
because it's a
It
village
is
truck.
Sam.
Village truck.
I mean, he may
Well, no, I mean,
have it in his possession all the time.
would he have it up at his house?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Sam does.
Sam takes his
But
home.
he wouldn't be able to take vacation to California.
No.
Well, no, that's not what I'm.
He has to use it just locally for.
but the whole thing is, we're theoretically, we need to buy a truck for John.
Mhm.
All right, now, so John's truck, take that out of the equation. If we buy Sam a new truck, our equipment fund will, when we sell the truck. We're already buying one. I mean,
And
That's a
Sam-
no-brainer.
that's a
gonna
no-brainer.
happen.
To me, that part's a no-brainer.
You said Sam's truck would sell for about how much?
The cheapest one on Auto Trader had 100-some thousand miles, and it was 36 grand. The truck Sam spec, I assume Sam spec is 32 grand. So either way, I mean, even if it only goes up 5 grand, but Sam's truck's better than a truck with 100,000 miles on
Yeah, right.
it. So,
Okay.
I mean, even if it only goes up 5 grand, because it's 3 years old, but if we opt it in 2 years, that's what I'm saying, if the market stays the same, like Brian said. But right now, it's a profit thing. The longer we wait, it's not gonna be a profit thing.
Well, we hope it's a profit thing. We don't know. I mean, I think sometimes, I keep going back to that truck a couple of years ago that we thought was worth.
What year was that?
Oh,
We thought it was worth 20,000, we got 14 out of it.
Yeah.
But that was also a bid process too. If nobody wants it, then nobody bids on it.
There you go.
If you,
And right now, I know a dealership that they
Oh.
pay for it. My truck has got 100, now it's a diesel, it's got 150,000 miles for it. There's not a panel on it that doesn't have a dent in it. And they offered me 28,000 without looking at it. And they said, if it's in better shape than we think, we'll give you more. That's without, I said, it's all dented up, and it's not all dented up, but the box is closed. And I told them that, we'll give you at least 28 with 150,000 miles on it. They're desperate for trucks. They're desperate, and that truck is beat. I mean, it is beat up. We won't lose as much as we did before. I'll guarantee you that it's a better thing to get rid of that truck at 3 years than it is 6. I guarantee it. the money we're gonna lose, because we could have 2 trucks in that time period, be driving a new truck, you don't have to put tires on. Cause if Sam's truck's got 50,000 miles on it, if he didn't put new tires on it already, he's gonna have to plow.
Mhm.
I mean, it's, to me, the maintenance stuff, I go through this every day with trucks. If I could buy a truck for $31,000, I would have a new one every year.
What's the delivery date on this?
That's the
Come
problem.
on.
That's the problem.
30 weeks.
30 weeks.
Wow.
30 weeks.
30 weeks.
Well, my deal might not be.
That was a Macomb one. I haven't checked into the My Deal delivery because it's a different dealer. It's Cornell Ford versus Signature Ford.
Still made from Ford.
Yeah, it's still Ford, so it's probably the same.
But my deal has other vehicles available. That's just what Sam's preferred brand is.
Yeah, we could do Chevy or Chrysler or
Yeah.
Dodge, I guess, not Chrysler.
I just think it's a no-brainer, and the longer we wait, the more we're gonna lose.
Are we gonna keep the plow and just put a new mount and wiring in a new one?
I don't have any idea what the municipality deal is for a snowplow. I know the snowplow is only 3 years old, and I know it's a Boss, so it's not shot. We could transfer, if the new Fords use the same mounting stuff, Sam's is good enough, and say between Sam and John, they can switch the stuff over easy. If it's not the same, then I wouldn't sell the plow, I'd sell the truck with the plow frame, a Boss plow frame. 2 years ago cost about $1,400 installed for the plow frame and all the wiring. And then keeping the old plow, selling the truck without the plow. If you can make money by selling the plow with the plow, test the market. You know, I mean, the plow isn't worn out. Sam hasn't even thought about buying a new truck, so I would say the plow's not bad. And if Sam says, well, let's do it all at the same time, then do it all at the same time. I mean, I'm kind of speaking out of place here, but it's something we have to do before the 12th, so we can't really get Sam's input. But it's just making the village money. That's all it is. It's just, at the very least, it's saving money.
I guess, Sam likes a Ford, but, does Don want Ford or does he want a Chevy, whatever?
We have Ford currently. Let's stay with the Ford.
Okay.
And we have a Ford, the water truck's a Ford. So
Okay,
that's what he's calling the utility truck is the water truck.
right,
Yeah.
okay.
And we may not get the truck for a year.
It's a little-
You know? I
Now
don't know
you're finance, what do you
I'm a
think?
little hesitant, I'll be honest with you. I
Why?
think ordering 1 truck is fine. I think ordering 2 trucks is just a little bit over the top for our little community.
That might be true. They had a hard enough time understanding why we needed a millage.
There you go. We asked for 3 mills and people came unglued.
Yeah.
Well, then you guys go buy 2 brand new trucks at $60,000.
Well,
I know, it comes out of different
Right,
funds.
right, but people, the regular person doesn't get that. You
They
try
don't
to
get it.
explain it to them and their eyes glaze over and they say, but you got a new street sweeper, they don't,
202,000.
yeah.
I just think we bought a lot of equipment. I don't have a problem with ordering a new truck, but I just think to go buy 2 new trucks and try to sell the truck. I know the market is fantastic right now, but I'm hesitant.
And I agree with Ralph that it is that would be the smartest way to do it for sure. But I don't think, in our position as village council members, I don't think it would be understood by the typical voter.
You don't think that saving money, making money,
I'm not sure. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. I don't
okay,
think so.
how about all right, I'll guarantee you, I'll give you more for Sam's truck. I'll guarantee the village, if that's what you're worried about, I'll give you
No,
35
I'm
grand
not.
for Sam's truck.
I'm not worried about that.
No,
I think allowing a council person to tell us, here, well, I'll buy the truck, I don't think that's.
Well, you put it up for bid. What I'm saying is I'll guarantee you I'll bid 35 grand for the truck. I guarantee I'll bid that. I'm not saying I'll win, because I don't think I will. I don't really want the truck, but if I got it for 35 grand, I'd buy it all day.
You know, and it's actually hard enough. I mean, he's supposed to take over for Sam. Sam isn't leaving for, what, a year? 2
18
years?
months.
18
So when
months.
Sam leaves, we'll be selling his truck. I'm just one vote here, but I'm not in agreement.
Well, so we have one.
I think I know.
Let's go over that.
Well, you buy 2 trucks this year, then in 2 or 3 years, then you're into buying 2 trucks again?
No, just
Is
one.
that,
Just one, because Sam will be gone.
maybe, I don't know.
When you guys sold the last truck, did you just do bids or did you check with dealers to see?
We did bids.
You didn't like check any dealer or anything to see what they would pay for it?
I don't think we could, well, back then, they were loaded with trucks.
Oh, yeah.
The market was.
Or
flooded with
online,
pickup
yeah.
Trucks. So we've always just put them out for bids, or it's a different.
Yeah, because now you can sell them online,
But I mean, that truck was rusty.
It had 80,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something.
I mean, they actually had holes rusted through it. This way you're selling a 2-year-old truck that's,
pristine. Yeah.
that's got 30,000 miles on it.
Pristine.
I'm kidding.
Another
That's a
question-
bad
another
joke.
question is, this is one bid. What about Chevy or Dodge or something?
No, that's what,
Trying to stick with Ford.
Well, I know.
it's not one bid, it's
It's
state bid. The state did all the legwork for us.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah,
The new state is most municipalities don't have to go out and actually get.
Oh, okay.
yeah, the state did all the hard
That's
work for us.
acceptable
Yeah.
to
Okay.
Trying to get 3 competitive bids. We do it with patrol cars.
Basically, what the state does is they're huge.
Yeah.
So they bid, Lee County does it too. We get it through
Yeah, and everything
Through
that we
the
buy.
my
whether
deal.
it's-
because it just is.
Yeah, because the state uses
Yeah,
it.
you can't.
So that's why this is a fleet bid.
Right, exactly.
Well, okay,
You
I know
can't, you
what-
can't touch that truck on a.
And actually, that's a $60,000 truck.
Oh, yeah.
I
I
mean,
know it is. I
Just
just bought
bought
a
one.
truck. I know what they cost.
well, it amazes you what kind of deal they get. Is
Mhm.
really.
Well, yeah, I can see that right here. $20,000 discount.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's more because it's a
Well, more,
3/4 ton.
because it's a half, 3/4.
It's a 3/4 ton truck with plow package.
Okay.
I just think explaining, like Michelle said, explaining to people that we paid $202,000 for a street sweeper, and we're buying 2 new pickup trucks, that we had to ask for a 3 mil police millage to fund our police department. I just think as far as us being fiscally responsible to the taxpayers, I just don't think it's gonna go over real well.
When we sell the truck, I bet it does.
But they won't get it. I mean, they won't,
It's hard for people to understand that. I mean, that basically
I
you're
think
trading.
that's our job. I think it's our job to protect the finances of the village.
Absolutely.
I think not doing it is doing the opposite of that. I think our job is to make hard decisions, explain it to the public and say, look, we just sold Sam's truck for more than we paid for Sam's new truck. We did the village a good thing. I think, yes, it'll take until Sam's truck sells to prove that, but the trade-in
Okay,
on
let me,
Sam's truck is.
let me put this out.
Yeah.
Why don't we see how much we can get out of Sam's truck and then order another one?
The 12th.
You say now or in 18 months?
The 12th is the problem.
Yeah, but they come out with these bids I mean, is it like,
Once a year.
Once you,
oh, it's once a year, okay. Okay.
And then the problem is, once you pass let's say the bid starts today, and they start it for the next year, as you go throughout the year, all the vehicles that the state buys and are available for sale, towards the end of that fiscal year, you won't find them.
Okay.
Same thing with the sheriff's department was looking for 3 patrol cars. They ended up having to buy 3 Tahoes that were rear-wheel drive because that's all they could buy. They couldn't buy any Explorers. They couldn't buy any Chargers. They ended up with 3 Tahoes that they didn't really want, but they, in order to get 3 new cars, they had to take whatever was available, so.
I really think it's our job to be physically responsible for the community, and I'm positive this is physically responsible. I'm just positive.
You know, it says right here, it says Ford Motor Company does not guarantee delivery. I know a gentleman that ordered an F-250 from LaFontaine and Charlevoix, and Ford contacted him and told him they wasn't gonna make it. Because the F-150s were the selling.
Well, we have more than this. Well, the My Deal, they actually have a fleet, the way it sounds, that's ready to go, that are on that website, is the way it sounds. Now, that all probably changes daily, but.
Why does it take 30 weeks to get it?
I was gonna say.
Well, that's a different dealer.
Different dealer. That isn't the My Deal.
The one Sam gave us was from Macomb, the Macomb County bid.
Signature Ford.
Yeah, Signature Ford, and this is from Gorno. And My Deal is from Gorno Ford. It's Metro.
Cause I've heard of dealers right here at truck manufacturers right here at the end of the year. You order it and they cancel the order to get you into the next year. And you have to jump in line.
Apply.
Well, if we can't get it, it's irrelevant.
Rob, do you want to put a motion on the table
No, I
to,
did, didn't I?
Not yet.
I'd like to
Yeah.
make motion to buy 2 F-250 pickups, like Sam's spec,
Yep, it's
through
2B.
either Signature or the My Deal program.
anybody want to second that? All right, a motion dies. Approve, I'd like to make a motion to approve 1 pickup truck for the new DPW worker, either through, let's see what we got here.
This is through Signature.
Signature or the other one, whichever one is cheaper, or do we want to go with Signature?
Whichever one's available.
Yeah, whichever one, thank you, whichever one is
Did
available.
we already order this one through Signature, Andrew?
Sam contacted them before they went on vacation, but we haven't signed anything with them yet.
I'll support that motion.
For spending money. Andrew, roll call.
All right. Drake,
No,
Fox,
Just to clarify the motion, it's for 1 truck
1 pickup truck.
that's to be used by the new DPW person, and that we can expect to have to wait 30 weeks plus to get this truck.
Correct.
Right.
Okay, then yes.
all right. Heinz,
Yes.
Patton,
Yes.
Ring,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
All right, motion carries.
14, old business discussion of the police millage. Obviously, the voters passed the millage last week. So now we're gonna collect $83,000. And I want to go over with everybody where the $83,000 that originally was taken out of the general fund, what that $83,000 is gonna be spent on now. So there's been questions in the community, okay, we've got this windfall of cash, and we truly don't. So I had Andrew drop some numbers for us to show you where this $83,000 is gonna go. So I'm gonna turn it over to Andrew, and I'm gonna follow along with my notes.
Okay. So do you want to start and me
Well,
go
you
or?
can start at 2023, the 30,000, the bond payment.
Okay, so we now have, I started working on the 22-23 budget just to play around with the numbers with what's going on there. So we now have our debt service payment for the new building. That's going to be about 30,000 a year. We'll know more next month, but right now that's kind of about what I think they said. It might be a little less, like around 28,000, but somewhere around there. So that's 30,000. Then we, huh?
53,000.
Yeah, then, this previous year, we transferred from fund balance $20,000. So we'll have to not transfer from fund balance anymore.
So explain
Is
that, what were we transferring it into, Andrew, please?
Just, we were overspending every year in the 101. The 101 was overspending, so, we were taking from the fund balance. This year was actually the least amount because we did some early mitigation efforts early in the year. If you remember, before those, we were about 45,000 over budgeted. So now we're at 20,000, which is much better, but we'll have to, the thing Ryan wanted us to was to do the millage, so then we weren't deficit spending like that. What was next on your list? Oh, and then the council and the president, we've historically under budgeted those and just always transferred in money at the end of the year. So that would be about 10,000 to accurately budget for how much the council and the president spends.
Now we're spending within our means. We're not drawing from the general fund to make everything,
And yeah, I believe that leaves us about 15 to 20,000
Yep.
on there. And that would be for one-time expenses. So an example, the DPW needs a new garage door. So we can pay for that without going into deficit spending. The park needs, whatever the park needs,
the
bathrooms.
Thurston Park needs new bathrooms.
Or the softball field needs new whatever. That can come out of the day parks that we would actually hit, one-time expenses. So that kind of takes care of all the previous budget.
So if
And
anybody
then-
have any questions on this, so if you ever get approached from the general public, where this money is going, so it's already pretty much allocated for. What we have to do is just it's allowing us to keep our general fund at a certain level. We're not pulling from it every year. So I just wanted to make that clear for everybody.
Okay, now, one question I get is, are we gonna get another part-time officer?
No.
No?
Okay.
Well, wait, but didn't we talk about possibly being able to use like the campground, part of the campground budget? Because it was my understanding that this millage would not totally pay for public safety and law enforcement, that it would substantially pay for it, but that we could possibly use the Thurston Park campground funds to help pay for the extra law enforcement that's required down there.
Andrew, what did it cost to have the deputy last year? Was it
It would have been about 10,000.
$10,000?
Scott, did you ever hear back from Torchlight Township?
No, you guys scared them off.
Scared them off?
Well, if that guy moved out there, you're,
But I played, what guys are?
oh, the gentleman that,
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is.
The price scared them off?
I think, they're kind of under this misunderstanding that, they can just snap their fingers and a police officer will arrive at this specific time, like during the summer, during the busy times, that this doesn't happen. Sheriff's Department can't fill 6 positions year round. And I think they're kind of have this delusion of, we just want law enforcement when it's convenient for us or when it's, and I don't mean to say that.
When the day part needs help, we need you there in 30 minutes.
It doesn't just work.
No.
I mean, you guys will have the same problem with the water guy. I mean, you can't just snap your fingers and say, well, need a water guy with a water lights break or they're not available for that kind of thing. So,
If we, go ahead. I thought you were done.
So I haven't heard anything back from them yet. Would they probably be interested in getting come next summer?
So, Michelle, I just did some calculations. If the campground was to have an officer 8 hours a week for their 12 weeks of being open, that would be 96 hours, which at $50 an hour, or what were we saying for Torch Lake Township? I think when we initially figured it was 50 and then we went high.
Yeah, I went to like 100, didn't we, or 75?
70 to 50.
So at $50 an hour is 48,000. or 4,800, my bad. Misspoke there. And at $75, it would be $7,200. And that's, the campground would have to, I mean, the police officer would have to be in the campground 8 hours in order for the campground to pay for that.
Right.
Like, it wouldn't be, a 5-minute drive-through. It would be sitting in the campground for 8 hours.
Right, so we need that.
Right. I'm just saying, in order for,
I don't think you want that.
I don't think you want that.
in order for the campground to pay for it, it would have to be a dedicated enforcement officer there for those hours.
Not 8 hours solid, but like.
A drive-through,
Right, but then the campground's not paying for a drive-through.
they could pay for a portion of it though.
They could pay for 5 minutes, which would be, I mean, then you're starting to nickel and dime it, which
Yeah. Well, you could do it in.
extrapolate,
percentage-wise.
yeah.
Right.
You could
Right.
say 10% of whatever the total is, and it could come out of campground budget. It's back to Kip's original question about a deputy. We've not even discussed a deputy yet.
Okay.
So let me rephrase. With this money here, this is just for Scott.
Right. And
The village is only for Scott, not a deputy as well.
Right, and just the question was,
Yeah.
okay, is that, make funds available for another part-time officer? That was the
Okay,
question.
so at 10 grand, it would have to come out of the general fund.
Okay,
It would not come out of the police millage.
right.
Yeah.
But we could budget for that.
We could. Let's leave it this way. Let's look into it.
Next
before we
year's
do
budget.
it. Yeah, next year's budget. Let's see where we're at. Because I don't wanna, get people thinking that there's gonna happen. We've gotta look at this budget, especially with this millage and where we're at, because we're spending so much money from fund balance. We've gotta tighten that up for now. Any other questions on that? All right, thank you. Public comment? No public comment. Can I get a motion to adjourn? All in favor?
All right.
Put under this. Put under that.